Good morning, traders. So how do we trade the DAX this morning? So I just want to zoom out quickly just to give you a bigger picture here. So we have a fairly positive downward channel. Okay. Now, if I draw another line, not that line, if I draw another line along here, kind of, it's not exact, but you get the picture that this could just be the extension of this wider range. In other words, this was the range, then we broke the upside and we've made another range. So we could break the downside and run back in this, not range, channel. We run in this channel, or we could break upside and make another channel, but still moving to the downside. So I think nothing really to concern yourself about, apart from the fact that it would be a fairly strong area, because you can see we've got one touch, two touch. So if we bounce off this, that would be a third touch. So it would give you an indication that there is a potential for a long. Okay. Nothing else to really read into the daily at the moment. So let's just get to the 30-minute. Okay, and you can see the 30-minute for all intent purposes, trend is down and you should be trading the downside. So whatever rally you get, you should be selling into and collecting your profits at pretty much every level that you get to. So what I mean by that is, if I draw a line on every turning point here, okay, and then we go look to the left, pretty much bet your bottom dollar that you will have, let's do this on the 4-hour. Okay, and pull that up again. Okay, and see how all those lines that I've drawn, look how they line up with tails to the left. See that? And obviously there are more to the downside, so I could add that tail there, this one here. I could add this tail here, and we could add that tail, and we could add the bottom here, which is basically this inside tail where everything interacts with. And obviously we've got that one, and then lastly we have that low there. Okay, so you can see there are a number of resistance or support points, potential support points in this massive zone that we're at. Okay, so for me, this area here at 11,875 would be a really good area to watch. Now, what am I watching for? So although we are moving down, okay, and the trend is down at the moment, this is coming into a big area of support on the weekly, and even if you look at it on the monthly. Okay, so let's just delete all the noise and you'll see what I mean. So now what I can do is I can just pick up these levels off the monthly. So that gives me one where we are right now. So look to the left there, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We had a monthly close there, 7. Okay, so we've had 7 months where something has happened in between these two lines. Okay, now the other thing to just bear in mind on the monthly is we are coming up to the blue line on the alligator, and remember, your blue line is your jaws, red is your teeth, green is your lips. So we're coming up to the jaws, and often when you get to the jaws, if you look back in the past here, something does tend to happen. So I'm watching this area with a lot of interest at the moment, because we are oversold at the moment. Okay, and that's on the monthly. We are oversold on the weekly. We're extensively oversold on the weekly. We are oversold on the daily. We're oversold on the 4-hour. And we're oversold on the 3 hour, we oversold on the hour. Okay, so I am watching this area with a lot of interest because I have a feeling that we are going to have a really great setup for a swing trade to the upside. Okay, it could just be sort of back to a trend line. Okay, although I doubt that very much because of the deviation that we have from the alligator at the moment. So kind of what I would expect us to do is, let me just do this. So from wherever we bottom out is a pushback to the alligator. Okay, so a good 450 odd point swing trade for the DAX, which is fairly significant. Okay, so I'm rambling too much now. So what am I looking forward today? So if we look at the 12-minute, we did get a break of the alligator, but really nothing to concern ourselves about at the moment. We've got a break here as well, and then went sideways and fell off. So I think you need to pick it up off the, at the minimum, the half hour. Okay, so you're looking for this trend to change. We're basically looking for 12.068 to give way. If we can get above that with a half hour close, there's a very good possibility that this was the bottom. What I suspect happens today is we range, and purely because we have non-farm payrolls today, so we've got data coming out. Okay, Asia is slightly down at the moment, so let me just pick up where the DAX futures is right now. DAX futures are sitting at 11,956. 11,9, pretty much very close to where we closed. Okay, so nothing really to concern myself about there. What I can do is just bring this level up to here. Those are my two fractional levels that I'm watching. So a break below 11,930 will more than likely bring this 11,790, 1180 into play. Okay, so we've got still a half decent trade at 180 point short potential still. But I'm very wary of shorts at the moment because we are in an area where there is a lot of potential support. Okay, so for me, if I was still sitting short, stops would be pretty much above fractional levels, and I'd actually be looking at the 12 minutes and dropping fractionals, dropping the my stop loss below fractionals. Okay, so this is the current fractional that I'd be below, and then to wait and see what happens here. Okay, so yeah, I think it's very much my take on things for today is very cautious. Pay attention to your 30 or your half hour. That will indicate the trend change. For now, the trend is down, and it's you trade with the trend, so we're looking for shorts, but look for shorts with a little bit of caution. Now, you do have a couple of breakout points here. So there's a breakout point, there's a breakout point. So these inside tails. So what I would expect, if we did rally, this would be an area that we would come back down. And what we're looking for now is either a double bottom or a decent setup for a move to the upside. Awesome oscillator starting to play with. We do have a little bit of diversions here as well. So everything is setting up to indicate that there is a potential turn about to happen. Okay, and remember, potential and about, those are key words, because we could just get to this area and move to the downside. So that's why the rule of thumb is we trade with the trend. Current trend is down, so any bearish signals you see, I mean, look here, you see these bearish signals here, hanging man, inside bar, and we move to the downside. Okay, any bearish signal you see, you're trading this back to the downside, and you can pick it up off the 12 minutes, or you can pick it up off the 5 minute. But if you look at the bigger picture here, there was a little bit of a scalp to the upside, but then immediately you've got this pin bar, which is in a downtrend. So there was your entry short, stop above there, and you're at least looking for this level here, if not further, and then you've got the next level. Okay, so same thing needs to be paid attention to at the moment. So watch the higher time frame, because you are in the trend on the higher, you are in a downward trend. So that's the trade you're looking for. You're looking for the next short. Okay. Keep those stops really tight now, guys, because if you do get a short off here, you may just get a double bottom here, or you may get a squirt below, and it may just come into the middle here or here before violently turning against you. So keep those stops tight. And what I do want to do, though, is I just want to head far off to the left. I just want to see if we can pick up some other signals here. Right. So what I'm looking for is gaps. So in other words, there's a tail and there's a tail there. So between this tail and that tail, there is a gap. Okay, so I'm looking for the high and the low of the bars. And what normally happens, if you look here, you can see it comes down pretty much. There's another gap there. Okay, so what you often see is price action like this, where the tails all overlay on each other. Where they don't, and those breakouts are not tested, they do come back sometime in the future to be tested. Okay, so there's one, and there's an example of there's a tail, and this one came back to test it and then rallied off. Okay, so there's one more. Just pick up that level there. Right, so there's a tail here, and it lines up at the bottom here. So those are my levels to the downside. Okay, so you see I just fine-tuned my levels to the downside, and it wouldn't surprise me if we do tag 11882. Let's make that a red line so you can see it. Okay, and come back to the beginning here. Right, and you can see how close this all is, and that's what is concerning me. So it's starting to look like a turn is happening, but obviously we can still continue down for quite some time. But proceed with some caution, but trade with the trend. So there's nothing indicating that the trend has changed just yet. Until we take out a previous high on the hour, at that point you can start contemplating that the trend has changed and you need to move to the upside. Okay, so that's my take on this at the moment. More than likely a short off the 1200 area to come down to 11882, and then take profits and wait and see what happens with non-farm payrolls. Anyway, guys, that's my view on today. And trading with the trend. Hope it helps, and catch up with you guys later. Enjoy your day. Cheers, man.